I have to apologize about that because my camera just cut off with me for some reason. I don't know why it does that. It just cuts off for no reason. And you know what? It might even work better to put them on the ground over here. I hadn't thought about that. Let's try one and see. But I know it works pretty good up here. I think I'll just stick with this. It's kind of hard to keep it in the hole, but at least you've got your wood back there as a backup. See, I've got 3 buckets already done. So that's a lot quicker. I'm still making a mess on my table, but nothing that can't be cleaned up. Oh, the hardest thing is to keep it lined up with the hole in my wood. I mean, you could probably set it right on the ground, and the ground would act as a backstop, and you could do it that way. Easy peasy. I mean, this is a lot quicker, a lot easier than even using the hot glue gun. Easier and faster. Except don't do like I just did. I didn't have it lined up good and went right through the... I'm going to try it over here. I haven't tried one on the ground yet. You know what? The ground works better. See how perfect this little hole right here is? That's the one I just did on the ground. And this is the one I did on the wood. And I did chip a piece of it off, but it doesn't matter because it's a drain hole. And it didn't crack the bottom, it just chipped out a little piece to the side of the hole. So, I think that's what I'm going to do. Bring them right over here and do them on the ground. It's a lot easier, quicker, and makes a smoother cut. So you live and learn. So see, we got all 8 of our buckets. But, won't that look good? 2 1-inch holes in the bottom of my bucket, and that's what I was striving for. Got a bunch of dirt in them. And I drilled one of them right where the label was. So it kind of stuck. I'm just over here dumping the little pieces of plastic out. Have anything in there, so I'll have to wait. But anyway, that's 8 buckets with holes in them already. So that is the easier way to do it. And I'll have my box for compost. Let me go get a trash bag. Put those pieces of wood back in the shed for another time. Pretty easy to clean up. I've got 8 more buckets to do, but I'm not going to do them today. I'm not right ready to use them. So we'll wait till another day. Oh, and I plug my drill right in here to my get that thing hung up in the door. Always have to clean up my mess. Yeah, but all those little tomato plants, that we have, you know, that's been growing out there from the bell peppers that I've cut and put the seeds in there. You know, I've got a whole slew of pepper seed that have germinated and come up. And those 8 buckets are not even going to be enough to do it all. But I don't want to do all my buckets right yet, because some of them I may leave holes in them and use them for something else. But I just wanted to show you another alternative to putting holes in your buckets. And I don't know if I'll be able to carry all this around there. I'll be back and get the camera. We have got hummingbirds. See if we can catch them. They're always at the different one that I'm showing. See, by the time you get the camera on them, they're gone. You got to be quick for those little guys. But they've sure been tearing up this nectar. I see the level in the red ones especially have dropped tremendously. But that's good. That means they're eating. So let's go around here. With my pepper plants especially, I think I'm gonna move wood chips aside, set the buckets down so the bucket bottom will be right on the dirt, and put them in this area because pepper plants love the sun. The tomato plants I'll probably put on the other side of the yard so they'll get partial shade. I mean, I've got some tomato plants here on this side. I'm going to try them and see what they do. But you can tell it's already heating up, because some of my plants have started to wilt already, and I just put water to them, a little bit of water to them yesterday. So yeah, but the places like this that I've got just a whole clump of tomato plants coming up at one place, that's where I'm going to thin out, and I'll put those tomato plants in those buckets. And then look at the pepper plants. Those are red bell pepper, and you know those are some that I planted from just the seed of the bell pepper that I cut. Didn't dry the seed or nothing. It was still on part of the pepper, which that even helps because when you put it under the dirt, that little bit of pepper still on the seed helps keep the seed moist, and it just helps it germinate even more. So, yeah. And see, my basil, I don't have any basil coming up. What I might do is switch, take that pot out, and put my basil plant there because my basil lived so good there last year. And move my seed out in the sun. That might be one reason it's not germinating any better than it is. Move the seed out in that seed pot out in the sun. It'll give those seeds better chance to germinate. So I think that's what I'm going to do. If I can get this camera set up. I need to find a spot to put it. In fact, I might set it here just for the time being, over here beside the potatoes because they get sun. So hopefully they will germinate there. Yeah. See, some of my pepper seeds sprouted and started coming up. I was beginning to worry about them. See right there? Those two little sprouts, that's pepper plants from the pepper seed. That sweet yellow, like a banana pepper type thing. And I love them. So I'm going to go down here and get my basil. And I'm going to put it over here. There, I had my basil plant in one of the buckets. And see, I just switched and put it there. I think the buckets work pretty good. I mean, they're a good sized pot. That basil smells so good. But what's next on my agenda is filling those buckets up that I just put holes in the bottom of with my wood bark and my toilet rolls and green matter, maybe some compost or food scraps that won't attract the ants, leaves, native dirt, that type of thing. And get those little pepper plants separated and get them planted. But look how many I've got. Oh my gosh. I think what I'm going to do I honestly think what I'm going to do is get some of those little seedling pots and put some dirt in them and put some of these little pepper plants in there because I've got too many. There's probably 40 pepper plants in there. And if I had rows that I could plant them in, I'd love it, but I don't. So I don't know what I'm going to do with all of those. My son may be getting some red bell pepper plants. And my neighbor too, I don't know. But it's going to take me a while to get the buckets fixed. And you know, I've showed you numerous times on how to do that. Getting your dirt all together. I've got to do that before I can think about separating them. And then I'll come back and show you what I mean by separating them and replanting them in the buckets. And there's what I finished doing. I got my tree collards moved over here. And since I'm under the trees with them, see, they get sun, but they're in partial shade. To keep the worms, those devil caterpillars that sting out of them, I've put the net back on, or the tulle. It's like a netting. Back over my cabbages and my tree collards, just for the time being. I mean, I did harvest some of the bigger leaves on the outer side of the cabbages. That's what I cooked last night. And then I put the netting back over it. Because I don't want the worms to eat the leaves like they did this one. I mean, they didn't completely strip it like that. I went ahead and took all the half-eaten leaves off, so the plant would go ahead and sprout new leaves instead of feeding the old leaves that were on there. So, but other than that, my tree collards and my cabbages over here look great. And my lettuce looks fantastic. It loves it here. My radishes, they're not doing so well. Part of them have died off. And I don't know if it's because I didn't separate them or what. And then my bok choy, some of that's still looking pretty good. So we'll see. So I'm going to end this video. The next one you see will probably be the one where I fix those the buckets, get all the dirt and stuff in them, and separate those bell peppers plants and plant them in the buckets.